Hey everybody, I have time to play with Snapchat, and that means I have time for another episode of Gimme Some Torah. Hey everybody, what's up? Happy Hanukkah, Chag Urim Sameach. The Torah portion this week is Mikketz, and we're going to focus on Genesis, chapter 41, verses 1 through 7. In these verses, Pharaoh has two very strange dreams that he is unable to interpret. In the first dream, Pharaoh finds himself standing on the shore of the river Nile, and he sees 7 fat, healthy cows come out of the marsh. By the way, we're not talking about some cow named Bessie from Wisconsin. Instead, we're talking about a Nile water buffalo, much like this one. After seeing these 7 healthy cows, Pharaoh then sees 7 scrawny cows. These emaciated creatures devour the 7 healthy ones, causing Pharaoh to wake up in horror. In the second dream, Pharaoh sees 7 healthy stalks of grain. Subsequently, he then sees 7 pathetic, wilted stalks of grain devour the healthy ones. The Torah says that Pharaoh described his dreams to all of Egypt's wise men and wizards, but no one was able to interpret them for him. Furthermore, the Torah says "Vatipa imrucho," which means that the elusive meaning of his dreams was driving Pharaoh crazy. Now, we might reasonably ask why Egypt's smartest people, the creative intelligentsia of their society, why were they unable to interpret a couple of lousy dreams? Surely there must have been someone who would have been able to figure out the meaning of the king's weird nightmares. Rashi's answer to this question is that the wizards and magicians in his court were able to interpret the dreams, but none of them was able to express the interpretation in a way that the Egyptian monarch would find acceptable. That, according to Rashi, is why the Torah says there was no one who could interpret the dreams for Pharaoh. Instead of the simpler and more direct version, no one could interpret the dreams. The words "for Pharaoh" seem totally unnecessary. After all, it is obvious that the verse is talking about Pharaoh's dreams, and not the dreams of somebody else. Rashi explains that the various dream interpreters explained the king's bad dreams in a way that frightened Pharaoh, rather than giving him some confidence, or at least some peace of mind. For instance, they would say, the dream means that you are going to have 7 sons, but that you will also bury those 7 same sons. In a thematic sense, this interpretation is correct. The dreams were an indication of a forthcoming blessing that would be followed by a curse that would wipe out the blessing entirely. But Pharaoh was unable to accept the interpretation because these wizards had no bedside manner and ended up making his mental state worse rather than better. When Joseph comes along later with his interpretation of 7 years of bounty, followed by 7 years of famine, he gives the king some measure of hope. He gives Pharaoh a plan, a way to deal with the approaching disaster. That is why Pharaoh made Joseph viceroy of the land, second in power only to the king himself. So what can we learn from this Torah portion and Rashi's interpretation? I think one thing we can learn is that although the truth itself is typically a black and white issue, the explanation of the truth comes in many, many different flavors. And it's our responsibility as teachers of truth to pick the right flavor for the right person or the right audience. In other words, facts are facts. There's no way to get around those. However, merely stating facts is not good enough if one wants to engage in the art of persuasion. If we want the truth to be understood believed, and accepted, we have an obligation to take the psychology of our listeners into account. Some of our listeners might appreciate a just the facts man delivery style. Others, however, those with what I call a mental sweet tooth, may actually prefer a sugary, candy-coated version of the truth, a version of the truth that gets the essential point across without deception, but also without the potentially traumatizing directness. Which flavor of the truth is superior? That depends entirely on the listener. Some like their truth straight up, and some prefer to drink their truth on the rocks or mixed with soda, just as some like their Christmas Eve Chinese food extra spicy, and some like it child mild. And that's all for now. I'm Rabbi Eli Garfinkel. Please check back soon for another episode of Gimme Some Torah. I also encourage you to check out my latest app on the iOS App Store, Prayer for the Sick, at the link below. Prayer for the Sick allows you to email or text a personalized prayer for the sick, a mishaberach, to anyone in need of physical or spiritual healing. Happy Hanukkah.